Well, he's always in the news, Kylian Mbappe. I love Kylian Mbappe, by the way, but I don't know. But according to L'Equipe in France, Kylian Mbappe sent a formal letter to PSG today telling them that he will not, under any circumstances, be activating the option in his contract for a further year until 2025. It is now possible that PSG may seek to sell the player this summer.
I know what's going to happen here.
Real Madrid.
And
it has to be.
And that means Harry Kane either stays at Tottenham or goes to Manchester United.
It's weird how it all happened, like one
domino
effect,
effect,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And Benzema started that.
Yes.
As soon as Benzema went, Real Madrid had a massive hole up front. We need a superstar player. Who can we get? Mbappe.
This is a disaster for Harry Kane.
No, it's a disaster for Liverpool. Because they're more domino. Let this dominoes continue. Well, Mo Salah then. If Mbappe and Messi go from Paris Saint-Germain, they need the biggest of superstars to fill that hole.
There is,
and I'm telling you now, Mo Salah up front is that superstar.
There is certainly that. But from Harry Kane's perspective, I think this is a disaster. I think he needed to go to Real Madrid. You know, he needed to do the selfish thing, get to Real Madrid, and I've worked out a system where he could still get that 260 record. You know the 260 Alan Shearer Premier League record that I'm sure he wants, right?
Transfer window.
Mate, this is what Harry Kane needs to do. I've worked out his entire trajectory.
How many is he on right now? What's he on?
He really should. He's 47 short. 47 goals.
Let me hear this. Go on.
47 goals short. This is what he needs to do for his entire legacy. He's currently a winning footballer who doesn't win anything. He needs to change that because I think he's so good.
Go on, hurry up. I want to hear it.
What he needs to do is go to Real Madrid, take the difficult move. You know, it's not an easy move. The easiest move would be to stay at Tottenham. The second thing to do would be to go to Manchester United. But he should do the hardest thing, which is go to Spain, lead the line for Real Madrid, link up with that new look Real Madrid team. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Jude Bellingham, the new look in Bernabeu, right? Go and be the main man there. You know what they like. Win a couple of Champions Leagues, a couple of La Ligas. And then at 33, 34, you know, he's 30 next month. He's still very young. 33, 34, come back. You know, like Teddy Sheringham, he was at Tottenham. He didn't win anything. He went to Manchester United, won a treble, went back to Tottenham. Harry Kane comes back. He scores 47 goals in his final 2 or 3 years. Breaks the record.
Retires.
He's got the Champions League. He's got La Liga. Probably got the odd cup as well. And then he comes back and breaks Alan Shearer's record.
There must be part of him, Andy Brassell's going to join us as well in a couple of seconds to talk about Kylian Mbappe, and we can talk about Harry Kane with him as well. There must be a part of him, though, that looks at what Haaland's done. Because that move was on. That move to Man City was on and thinks, oh my God, Haaland's won everything in his first season. Won everything.
And broken all those records as well. All those goal-scoring records that I'm convinced Harry Kane would break.
Yeah,
I'm convinced that Harry Kane has the ability to do exactly that.
Haaland did it. All right, let's welcome in our European football expert, Mr. Andy Brassell. Andy, talk to us. What's going on with Kylian Mbappe? Is he going to make that move to Los Blancos?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think he should have Rory as his agent. I love his plan for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I'm really into it. I'm convinced.
It's a good plan, isn't it, Andy? It's a perfect plan.
It's a fun plan. It's a really good plan. I mean, it breaks the Alan Shearer comparison, but apart from that, I love it. I'm into it, and I would love him to do something that brave. As far as Kylian Mbappe goes, I think he will end up at Real Madrid. I don't think it will be this summer, though. There's a bit of assumption in this, really, because PSG, it seems, are reeling from the shock of being affronted by Kylian Mbappe saying he won't take up this option for the moment. He was never going to take up this option this summer. Now, the thing is, how his contract is structured, obviously it was made with great fanfare at about this time last year. There were fireworks on the pitch at the Parc des Princes, and he held up that shirt with Mbappe 2025 on the back. It was never really Mbappe 2025. It was more of an NBA style deal where he signed for 2 years with an extra year optional, but it was a player option. It was always his ability to decide. Now, the thing is, he had to give a decision by the end of July, by the terms of that contract, to say whether he was going to take up that option for the extra year, to give it in July this year. And he's come out under a bit of a pressure from the club and said, you know what, I'm going to keep my options open. And they always knew, really, he was going to keep his options open. Everyone around him knew he was going to keep his options open. But of course, PSG are a huge club with a lot of pride. And so they're thinking, well, maybe we will take it into our own hands. Maybe we will sell him. Because everything that's been coming out of the club in the last couple of months has been, whatever he decides, we're not going to sell him this summer. And the thing is, they're one of the few clubs in the world who can take that decision, who can say, well, you know what, even if you are going to be a free agent next summer, or you've got the ability to be a free agent next summer, we're not going to sell you. Because remember, they backed themselves in this way before. Now, there's a massive difference between public rhetoric and what's actually happening and the decisions that are taken in the cold light of day. Remember when Leonardo was the sporting director there, he said, look, there's only two ways it's going to go. Either Mbappe signs a new contract with a year left, or or he's not going to go for free. There's no way he's going to go for free. He could have gone for free last summer. That's just PSG supposition. That's just public posturing. And I think this is public posturing as well. They're not going to give him away to Real Madrid this summer. Their project absolutely collapses this summer, especially with them moving on from this superstar model and wanting to go in a more French direction led by Mbappe. You know what? They backed themselves in the last year of his last deal to convince him within that year to stay. I think they'll back themselves to convince him all over again.
Andy, at the start of the show, I said to Rory, was talking about sort of transfer sagas, and Rory picked out, I think, Mason Mount, Declan Rice. I said Mo Salah. I think Mo Salah is going to be embroiled in a saga with PSG. Can you see anything in that? I just feel like, I know you said that they might be moving away from the superstar model, but I almost feel like they're going to make a play for him because of Messi leaving.
I feel that Bernardo Silva will be the one. I think he will be the one that goes in there to replace him. Look, they've got money to play with because they've got Messi and Ramos off the wage bill, which is absolutely huge for them. I think you look at $1 million
a week off the wage bill.
Well, you look at the sort of players that they're looking at. I think it's been painfully evident what is wrong with PSG in the Messi era. And the reason that his signing was such a failure for them is because it put them in a position where they couldn't win the Champions League. With that front three, which looks amazing in paper, they're nowhere near good enough off the ball to win the Champions League, because you've got three players at the top of the team who don't do anything when they haven't got the ball. Now, they need to move away from that. And I think it's interesting that the two players who they're the most interested in to add to that front three at the moment are Marcus Thuram, who's leaving Borussia Mönchengladbach on a free, very close with Mbappe, and who can play centre forward or play on the left. So he gives Mbappe options. He would really like to play with Marcus Thuram, by the way. And Bernardo Silva, who, again, works like a dog off the ball. Now, that's exactly what you need. I don't think there's anyone out there who watches PSG on a regular basis over the last couple of years and who watches Manchester City on a regular basis over the last couple of years who would tell you that PSG wouldn't be a better side, wouldn't be a more dangerous side in the Champions League with Bernardo Silva in it instead of Messi.
No, indeed. Mr. Brassel, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very, very much. Look at that. Just got some breaking news. Phone Brassel immediately comes on.
The main man, Brassel. That's who you need to speak to as well when things like this happen.
Yeah, it just is going to happen, though. For me, it's almost a bit like what you said about Man City winning the Champions League. You told me this a couple of years ago. You said, Ade, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that Kylian Mbappe will play for Real Madrid.
No, I think he will play for Real Madrid. I think the timing, though, is more up for debate, isn't it? Like, when does he go there? When does he end up leading the line for them? Yeah. It's interesting, though, because Andy seems to think that it won't happen this year, which makes sense. If it doesn't happen this year, who does fill the Benzema role?
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Something's going to happen.
Someone has to go there.
Someone has to go there, exactly. Yeah. And also, if, it would be a huge statement to sign Harry Kane, does that then have an impact on potentially signing Kylian Mbappe the following year?
That's why I feel like Real Madrid might just say, no, here, bang. He's only got a year left in his contract. I don't know what Mbappe's worth with a year left, and I know he's, for me, one of the greatest players in the world. But do Real Madrid say 150 million? It's only a year left, here's 150 million. Or do PSG say, we don't need your money, we're keeping him?
I think the latter, because they don't need their money.
Yeah, don't need their money, we'll keep him. All right, look, keep your calls and texts coming in. Call us 03717 223344. Phone lines.